the cornbread accent, welcoming you to this week's AEW Dynamite Recap show. Appreciate you guys checking it out. The fans at the Yingling Center in Tampa, Florida got to hear a couple announcements and see a no holds bar match and a ECW legend making his debut. Um, Yingling, yeah. Speaking of Yingling Center, that's my beer choice. The few times I do drink, it's either Yingling Light or Michelob Ultra for those who might care, which I'm pretty sure none of you do. Anyway, before we get started, would you be a champ? And send me some Yingling Light. Just kidding. Click on that subscribe button, hit the notification bell, like, leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about this week's Dynamite show. Other than that, let's let it rip. All right, Dynamite this week kicks off with a tag team match. Chris Jericho, Kosuke Takeshita, with Don Callis in their corner, taking on a couple of Chris Jericho's boys here, Daniel Garcia and Sammy Guevara. Things are not looking good for the uh, Jericho Appreciation Society. Anyway, Jericho and Guevara start things out. They do a couple of big chop exchange with, Guevara getting the better of that. He tags in Garcia, double team on Jericho, and it looks like something's wrong with Garcia. I guess he's got some ants in his pants or something like that. Don't know what's going on with that. But he wants a big Japanese guy, Takeshita, and that was a bad mistake because now Jericho and Takeshita take over after Takeshita hits a big flying lariat on Garcia. Um, and we found out something here. Used to, I would say, hey, who dances worse than white people? Jewish white people. Guess who dances worse than regular white people, southern white people like me? Jewish people. You guessed it. Japanese dudes dance worse than all of us. Uh, yes, none of us have any kind of rhythm whatsoever. Um, anyway, yes, Takeshita and Jericho, they get the heat on Garcia. Jericho slide assault meets Garcia's knees though. They do a double tag. Sammy getting upper hand. Garcia gets back in. Um, Sammy would hit Takeshita with a shooting star press from the top rope to the floor, but it looked like his elbow caught Takeshita in the head. I noticed he was quickly to turn over and say, I'm pretty sure ask if he's okay, but first thing he says, that dude, sorry. um, and didn't really get, looked like my guy goosed in his eye a little bit, but like the legend's self-made rest in peace, Dr. Death Steve Williams will say, it ain't ballet, brother. Uh, anyway, last two guys in the ring was Garcia and Jericho. Garcia had Jericho and the Dragon Slayer. The referee, Aubrey Peters, was just watching stuff from the outside. Callis was able to take the ball bat and hit Garcia. Ball bat's laying in the ring, middle of the ring. Peters just totally don't see it. Jericho's basically on a live mic. Was like, what the fuck? You get to hear him say, what the fuck? Um, but Garcia, not Garcia, Peters, she didn't see it. Anyway, Jericho gets on top of Garcia, 1, 2, 3, and still don't see the bat. Don Callis was able to just walk in the ring and kick the bat out of the ring. Not a good look. But other than that, this was a decent match. It was good. Um, so now it's still is Jericho going to join Callis' family officially now. I guess we'll find out next week when we have that mandatory Jericho Appreciation Society meeting to see where that goes. Other than that, next. So now, next segment here is the Jet Perry, Jerry Lynn face off. Jet Perry gets in the ring and says, hey, come on out here, Jerry Lynn. I'm ready to kick your ass today. Jerry Lynn comes out and says, look, There's not a doctor in the world who would, sign off on me wrestling as many bolts and screws and plates that's in his neck. Ain't happening. But he said he knows a guy who still wrestles and wrestled in ECW, and I gotta admit, I popped a little bit, just reminiscing about the old ECW days when I heard Pantera's walk hit the PA. Like I said, I popped. Out came Rob Van Dam. He comes to the ring. Uh, the Hollywood Jackwagon Jack Perry won no part of RVD. Um, he runs out the ring. He does grab a chair, tries to take a swing at Rob Van Dam, but he ducks and was about to go Van Terminator with him, but uh, or Van Daminator on him, but Jungle Boy was quick enough to duck out of that one, and he runs out, even runs to the front row, sits down, and puts a little girl, shields himself using a little girl. So a little bit of old school heat there. But yeah, Taz kind of made a comment like, "Oh, Jared is a little past his prime," and like, so is RVD. But we'll see where this goes. But got a prediction here. Let me know what you think about this. Jack Perry, ECW Legend Killer. Yes, I would not be surprised if he goes over on RVD. Maybe they'll bring in Tommy Dreamer. He'll go over on Tommy Dreamer. Tommy Dreamer would be up for that. Bully Ray, I don't know about that. He might be, if the price is right. I can't think of any more. Maybe Sandman. I think Sandman still wrestles every now and then. But anyway, yes. The Hollywood Jackwagon, Jack Perry, ECW Legend Killer. Sorry, I gotta figure out what the camera. Yeah, I haven't got camera comfortable or camera smart yet. But yeah, let me know in the comments what you think about the ECW Legend Killer Jack Perry. Is that going to be his gimmick now? Let me know. Next match of the night is a anything goes three-way dance. Trent Beretta versus Penta El Zero versus John Moxley. So we got Best Friend, Lucha Bros, and Blackpool Combat Club represented here. And like I said, it was an anything goes match. They started out outside the ring. They used trash cans on each other. Moxley got the advantage, grabbed a 2x4 with barbed wire on it. I thought they cut out the blood, but I guess they told Moxley not to bleed. Actually, it's Trent Beretta doing the blade job this week. Penta takes over. They all, just got after it again after the commercial break. Double super kick on Moxley. My phone going off. Somebody texted me, but we're just going to keep going forward. John Moxley brings in the thumbtacks. Everybody got to feel those. Again, Penta hit the Avalanche Destroyer on Beretta onto tables. Moxley hit Punta with a double arm DDT. Beretta would do a knee strike on Moxley, which allows Beretta to get the pin here on Penta. Then after the match, John Moxley puts a rear naked choke on Trent Beretta. This brings out the other two members of BCC. Also, the Orange Cassidy and Chuck Taylor from the Best Friends. They come out. They kind of have a nice little brawl with each other, and I guess there's a match going to be set up now. A big street fight at Daly's with the Best Friends going to be against the BCC. So, all right. Next segment involves MJF, your AEW World Champion. He comes out talking about how he has ADHD, ADD, RSD, HIV, AIDS, whatever. Got picked on, blah, blah, blah. That's why he basically didn't trust people. He became a scumbag. got bullied, because it was Jewish, just like, ugly people got bullied, short people got bullied, tall, skinny people got bullied. You know, people has always got a little bit bullied. Just, tell them, kiss your ass. Uh, anyway, I know people kind of, you know, it kind of lingers with them a little bit, and now they kind of turning this to an angle, so, um, maybe real life into an angle where, I mean, at least he did admit that he is a scumbag, but he's your scumbag. He thanks the fans for, making him trust people again. And also thanks Adam Cole for being his friend, which he calls out Adam Cole. And um, after they kiss each other's ass a little bit, it's made official. Your main event, or at least your AEW World Title match at All In at Wembley Stadium, will be Adam Cole against MJF. So I'm pretty surprised they didn't advertise big announcement. He kind of, I guess he forgot, or uh, his stash was left at the White House. Just kidding. Don't sue me. Just a joke. Um, anyway, so yeah, uh, you're all in. World title match is Adam Cole against MJF. We shoot to the back. We see Roger Strong losing his shit. What what's the end game here? Like I said last week, I predict that uh, Roger Strong's going to do the turning here. Uh, is it one of those? He was a scumbag, made a bet with Roger Strong, saying, "Hey, I can get him to be my best friend, but if I do, you got to turn against him and be my lackey." Who knows how that story's going to end up, but um, I very much predict Roger Strong's going to cost. I'm saying cost at least Adam Cole the championship. Again, can't emphasize enough. Leave a comment what you think, how this angle is going to end up being. Next. Alright, now we have trios tag action here. We got the Elite, Kenny Omega, Matt and Nick Jackson, the Young Buckaroos, against Jeff Jarrett, Satnam Singh, and Jay Lethal. Things are going great for the Elite to begin things with. That was until Matt approved. Kind of weird, He reached for the tag, Singh reached for the tag, and he looked over, trying to get approval. But I guess Matt's like, yeah, sure, take that, big, almost 7 foot, if he's not 7 foot, almost 7 foot dude in there. So Jay Lethal makes the tag to Singh. Matt knows that, big dude. I don't want no part of this. He goes reach for a tag to Brother Nick and Kenny Omega, and they don't want no part of that. And of course, Nick got back on the apron and looked at the crowd, and Matt Jackson wound up tagging Nick and, caught him off guard with that one. And they were like, okay, let's try to double team him. Didn't work out too well, especially for Nick Jackson. He takes the heat here. Picture advantage for Jarrett Singh and Jay Lethal as they kind of put a whooping on Nick Jackson. Then he finally gets away. Hot tag to Kenny Omega. Then you have this definitely a Jeff Jarrett deal here. Karen Jarrett got involved. Sonjay Dutt got involved. Brandon gets involved. Then the Hardys come out. They even things up. Anna Page comes out of nowhere. Hits the buckshot on Jay Lethal. Then Omega, we see him pick up the guitar. Don't know what he's singing here, but I was thinking either Cult of Personality by Living Colour, Achy Breaky Heart by, Billy Ray Cyrus maybe. But I got a strong feeling it was with my baby tonight. Spend my days working hard on a go. Yeah, that song. Um, I think he was singing that because you know how Kenny Omega likes to agitate his opponents. But anyway, Omega wound up pinning Lethal with a one wing angel. That's how the match ends. And in case you didn't know already, the Elite, Kenny Omega, Matt Nick Jackson, and the Rhinestone Cowboy Adam Page, they all re-signed uh, contract extensions. They're going to be in AEW for a while. Adam Page made that announcement, and then of course Kenny uh, got on the mic, so he said, "Hey, whether you're going to be seeing a lot of us, whether it be on Dynamite, Ring of Honor, Rampage." And of course, he gave that little grin and said collision. That created a little cheap ooh from the crowd, because that's, CM Punk show. Uh, but yeah, that's not going to be a surprise if that's going to be an angle, sure enough. Um, or it has been the whole time, and we all just got worked on it. But anyway, so yeah, big surprise there. They re-signed this. This is kind of their baby, So somebody's paying them to play. Um, Good for them. Who wouldn't take that deal? Other than that, next. So our next segment here, we see in the back, we see the Mogul Embassy, AR Fox, Swerve Strickland with Prince Nana. The big question is, why did AR Fox turn against Darby Allin? AR Fox said, "Hey, for 5 years he didn't call me. He got signed here and didn't call, say thank you, anything, until they just still happened to see each other in the locker room 5 years later, or however long, 200 episodes later." Uh, so AR Fox kind of is, feels about that. Then they show some footage of where they came by the Buddy Wayne Wrestling Academy. Then they kind of invaded it. Uh, Say, hey, we're here to train to wrestle, or whatever. Nick Wayne was in there. They kind of attacked him. He tried to hold his own, but wound up getting that head cracked with a picture of him and his dad. Um, Very good blade job here, or might have been a little bit of a hard way. He was definitely gushing in his um, car garage, basically. Uh, had a couple of little rookie guys here, but the big story here was they attacked Nick Wayne, busted him open, made him call um, Darby Allin because they seen where he's reaching for the phone. Um, I guess he probably wasn't going to call Darby. He was probably going to call, uh, logically, probably call 911. Uh, but anyway, uh, so Swerve made him call Darby, and Swerve said, "Hey, you got some ghosts in your past, and we're here." So, like I said, of all the stuff that happened, this is probably my favorite little part. Uh, I guess a little bit was because I am a kind of a fan of at least 3 to 4 involved here. Darby Allin, Swerve Strickland, AR Fox. Uh, so getting this is definitely getting heat right here. Kind of old school style. So definitely look forward to seeing how this plays out. Next. All right. Next match of the night is for the Ring of Honor Tag Team Championship on AEW Dynamite. We got Ring of Honor Championship match. Excuse me. The champion is the Aussie Open against Commander and Vikingo. The Lucha team had the advantage until Mark Davis got in. Then they, started putting a whooping on Commander. He finally got away, got a tag in to Vikingo. They made a comeback. Commander got back in. Then, they wind up getting a better Commander again. Pitcher and pitcher advantage on Commander. Some pretty good, double team moves by the Aussie Open. Uh, Again, another hot tag of Vikingo. The Luchadors get all their shit in. But again, they were able to single out Commander again, hit their finisher. Aussie Open successfully defends their Ring of Honor World Tag Team Championships on AEW Dynamite. Uh, kind of dig the Aussie Open. They're not too bad. I would like to see a match with them and FTR. Wouldn't be too bad. Um, look like pretty good cohesive tag team. Other than that, next. All right, here your two. Forgot to mention this is the 200th edition of AEW Dynamite, and what better way to, you know, cap it all off and have your main event be for the AEW Women's Championship. I guess he took the hey book women better sign last week. uh, yeah, one of the biggest deal, two biggest deals on last week's Dynamite was the crappy uh, Britt Baker and Tyra Valkyrie match, and the sign where somebody said, "Hey, book women better." That's the biggest takes of last week's Dynamite. So why not? Let's have a main event for the championship. It is Hikaru Shida challenging the champion Tony Storm. They exchange forearms. Shida getting better at that. Shida will just really put a whooping on Storm to begin things with. Storm was able to turn things around, get the ass bump. Picture advantage for Storm. She would go for another ass bump in the corner, but it was countered with a German suplex. Now Sheeta's got the advantage for a little bit, but Storm was able to regain the advantage after Saraya and Ruby Soho interfered. They exchange strikes again, both go down. Saraya throws in the kendo stick. Storm and Sheeta fight over it. Sheeta wins that exchange, and she's on her, Storm's on her knees, say, "Hey, yeah, hit me, so you can get disqualified." Well, she decides to hit Saraya and Ruby Soho with that kendo stick. Of course, ref is distracted with the other two, which I understand. They're cute ladies. Uh, but this allows Tony Storm to get the spray paint, sprays Sheeta in the eyes, hits the eye of Storm. 1, 2, oh, Sheeta kicks out. Guess what? Wonder what's going to happen now. Storm goes for it again. Sheeta counters. Storm tries to counter with a sunset flip, but Sheeta was able to counter that. Rolls her up. 1, 2, 3. And your winner and new AEW Women's Champion is Hikaru Shida. Don't know why. No real build up. Just there. Kind of like going to. Never mind. Average match. Wasn't that great. This was no Asuka versus, Charlotte Flair. This nowhere near as good as Grits and Eggs. Maybe about as good as a box of Kraft macaroni and cheese as your dinner. Not as bad as last week's women's match, but definitely not great. This is what I was kind of talking about last week. Most of their women's matches are mid at best. Not sure if it's the way they book it or the agents involved. You would think Tony Storm and Ruby Soho, who's been at the Performance Center, got the what's her name, Celia Ray, who is the head women's trainer or whatever, and Norman Smiley. I think he's given a lot of credit to. You'd think they'll pass out along, but of course, some people don't want to listen, and this is what happens. But, it is what it is. She's a champion now. I think I seen somebody post, hey, I guess now you have to have a babyface champion to uh, face or drop it to Saraya in England. Can Saraya wrestle that much? One or two matches she's done for. Uh, uh, now that Hater's out, I guess, for a while, why didn't they build up her and Britt Baker, Tony Storm and Britt Baker match, since Britt Baker is supposed to be their top female? Was this punishment for having a bad match last week? Surely Tony Khan ain't gonna do that, right? Anyway, like I said, it is what it is. Just tell you the truth, I just wasn't feeling this week's show. Raw was kind of that way with me too. Both shows just really wasn't feeling it. Like I said, my favorite whole angle is watching some kid get beat up and lacerated at his own practice ring at his house. So either I'm twisted or this really wasn't that good. I was impressed with Aussie Open. Like I said, I'd like to see them in some matches with FTR maybe. Other than that, like I said, leave a comment and tell me what you thought of tonight's show. Yes, congratulations to Hikaru Shida. She's now a 2-time AEW Women's Champion. Tell me what you think in the comments about that. Other than that, you folks have a good one. Take it easy.
We here at RP Tube Vision would like to thank you for tuning in. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Also check out friends of the show Ecolife Natural for home-crafted candles, hand cloth, and other home and personal goods. Look them up on Facebook. Link will be available below the video. That is Ecolife Natural.